have we ever followed the rules?
I have a feeling they're going to make them slightly closer than they were in the books.
Ooh, bacon.
Hey out there, my tasty little bacon bits. It's Reverse BLT here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting into the final stretch, episode 6 of the Wheel of Time's first season. This one is called The Flame of Valon. And I'm not even going to talk about what that title means because I'm certain that with a title like that, they're going to explain it in the episode.
No.
I'm excited to see we're getting into some, I'm going to sing a lot of lore this episode. So last episode we had some interesting stuff happen with Perrin and Egwene. Egwene willfully channeled in front of Amyrlin to attempt to save Perrin's life, and kind of did a little misdirect there where she sort of exploited his belief in, even though of course he knew that Aes Sedai don't necessarily need to use their hands, he still clearly had an expectation involving using hands and gestures and everything else, and she was able to use that to misdirect him while she used the weave to burn through Perrin's restraints. But then his eyes turned gold, and and some interesting stuff happened with some wolves, so I was really excited to see that as well. Meanwhile, Mat and Rand made it to Tar Valon, went to an inn recommended by Tom, which is probably the main reason why Moiraine isn't aware of them being in the city yet. Tom sent them to that inn for a reason. Her eyes and ears will eventually get that information to her regardless, but they're in a place where she has fewer eyes and ears, I would expect, which is why Tom sent them to that particular place. He's trying to keep Mat. Oh, pardon me for yawning.
No, I don't think I will.
Kind of early. She's trying to keep, he's trying to keep Mat away from the Aes Sedai because of his fears that Mat is beginning to experience Chandler's sickness, the madness that men are afflicted with because of what the Dark One supposedly did to the male side of the One Power. Rand is doing his best to be a good friend, thanks to Loyal, who sure doesn't quite look the way he does in the books, but I don't really care because he is, character-wise, he's perfect. You know, he rambles on about random stuff that no one really is paying any attention to.
Remind you of someone you know?
His way of speaking is perfect and everything else, his deliberate movements, so great. But thanks to him, Rand, Mat, and Nynaeve have now been reunited. And that was great to see as well. And we got to see just a little bit of the machinations in the tower, a very tiny bit, because there weren't really any people in the tower. I'm guessing that was because, having some discussions with people in the comments for a previous one, it seems that the likeliest explanation is that COVID restraints may have played a role there. Scenes are usually not shot in order, so who knows what was going on when they shot that, where exactly they were in the filming of everything else. Indoor restrictions may have been in place that limited this, how bustling the tower could be made to look. I mean, these are the concerns we have in real life, guys. There's nothing we can really do about that. So far, I think the show has done a really good job of recovering from its initial jankiness and is really becoming very strong. A few little niggles aside, like, things that they really can't control. I'm really loving this show. So let's go ahead and get into it, see what this one has in store for us, and finally meet, judging by the thumbnail, the Amyrlin Seat. I'm excited. Oh, someone mentioned I should do this, so I'm going to make sure I do this in every episode. Please make sure that you use spoiler tags and spacing when discussing plot points that haven't happened yet in the show that come from the books. And I have only read up to the Fires of Heaven, so try not to spoil anything for me when you do use your spoiler tags that takes place in Lord of Chaos and beyond, because I don't want to know what cool stuff happens before I get to it, you know? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, is this a flashback? Sometimes the soundtrack gives me a very Enya vibe. You guys remember Enya? I used to love her songs. I used to sit there going, the Orinoco flow.
Up you get, Swan.
Oh yeah, it is a cat flashback. All of this is in the Czech Republic? I have friends from the Czech Republic. They never told me the place was this pretty. I bet dealing with nets all the time made her very good at channeling, since a lot of times they visualize the weaves of the powers being, you know,
the village, that's the rule.
like thread.
A wise woman knows the breaking point of her line.
All the Swan's little nautical sayings.
You couldn't unravel them knots a week ago. You're getting better.
I kept referring to it as the Fang of the Dark One. It's the dragon's fang. I don't know why I got mixed up there. There are varying attitudes about the power and Aes Sedai and all that stuff throughout this world. Tyr is one of the places where it's the worst. The discrimination is really bad against people who can use the power.
Strong as the tides.
This show does really effective character work. Wow. She had to paddle herself all the way from Tyr to Tar Valon as a little kid. That's a really long journey, guys, all by yourself. On a little dinky little boat. I hadn't talked about before, but I really find it interesting that the beginning of the credit sequence is the thread breaking. So I'm guessing that's representing Luce Theron and the breaking of the world.
Check out the big brain on bread.
Or it's foreshadowing, who knows?
Attend you all, she comes.
Uh-huh.
The Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tar Valon.
Hey!
The Amyrlin Seat.
I love how they're shooting it out of focus too. It's kind of like representing how they look at her. Hey, it's the wheel.
Bring the false dragon.
Yeah, she feels right. And they're really focusing hard on Leandrin's misandry.
Please kill me. I beg you. No, kill me. Please.
You left the tower 2 years ago. Where have you traveled?
From Tyr to the Two Rivers, and many towns between.
What is the purpose of your travels?
Forgive me, Mother, I cannot say.
Cannot or will not?
It's interesting watching her try to navigate the oaths.
Outside this tower, it seems you do as you please. But I am the Amyrlin Seat. This is my tower, my city, my world. From Tyr to the Two Rivers and every town between. Remember that well while you are here. Remember that well when your forehead and your lips touch this marble and you beg your mother for mercy.
Oh, well, you non-readers
I will think on your parents.
don't know just how great this scene
And
was.
deliver judgment tomorrow.
I liked how they even had the little tink as her forget what that thing is called she wears on her head, touch the stone. Hey, there we go. It's a little more bustling.
Apologize to her. Publicly. Well, you still can. What good would that do me?
They're using a lot of sound design to help fill in the fact that they still can't show a lot of people, I think.
Tomorrow your reckoning comes.
And we know she believes it because they can't speak any word that is untrue. I cannot drink tea that's piping hot. I can't drink or eat anything that's piping hot. Ah, see?
How
Though,
bad is he?
I would probably wear something different for, you know, sneaking about. That blue is very, very obvious. Now I understand why they made it the way they did. The darkness that he took with him from Shadar Logoth makes a much more direct link between it and the taint of the One Power.
He's stronger than he has any right to be.
Yeah, he is.
If you weren't, that dagger would have consumed him weeks ago. Your pride would have killed your friend. If wisdom is the title you claim, I suggest you start using some.
Burn. Apply some healing salve to the wound, wisdom. I like how the show handles nudity. It's just there, you know? There's no lingering, there's no like, oh, look at all that sexy. Okay, maybe they just did a little bit of it. Just when I was talking about them not doing it, they did a little of it.
A green spoke on behalf of a red today, and so did you. The whole world's gone mad. Ships are
You guys are all
disappearing off the west
sisters.
coast. Aiel have been spotted this side of the spine. Trollocs invaded the two rivers, and an Aes Sedai sank the Terran ferry.
Your informant network has improved.
We've sent money
Take
on your
note of
behalf
the
as
whole thing
recompense.
about how ships are being sighted off the coast.
Moraine. Rand and Matt, are they
I
here?
have people watching for their arrival. But I have it on good authority that they're alive.
It's really interesting watching her navigate the truth,
My
the
younger sister said
oaths.
you were taken by white cloaks.
Everything she says, you have to analyze. Hey, that dress has pockets!
Valda won't hurt any more of your sisters.
I wouldn't be so sure we've seen the last of Am and Valda.
There are no greater healers on Earth than the Aes Sedai of the Yellow Usher. It will be like the damage never happened.
I just got like a weird
On the outside, at least.
thought of an infomercial just now.
I'm worried about him.
With our
His
new
eyes.
yellow tape bomb, it's like the
When Valda was
damage never
torturing him,
happened.
They went golden. Like a wolf's.
Oh, okay. So it is a ter'angreal. So there's one theory people had that was confirmed. Or that is about to be confirmed, I guess I should say.
When have we ever followed the rules?
I have a feeling they're going to make them slightly closer than they were in the books. I think I hear the sound of many, like, overly committed to the things not ever changing at all. People
These are new.
just losing their minds.
Maybe two.
I really like her tattoos.
You've been gone such a long time.
On your knees.
Do ourselves a little Dom action here?
Hasn't improved.
Okay. 50 Shades of Rainbow. Because of the colors of the ashes.
I found the dragon. Can he ride?
Magcothan,
Is that his name, yes? Same boy you visited at the Light's Blessing yesterday.
I wonder how
Strange
long
how he has
Leandrin was
companion.
waiting
Is it
in the hall
Rand?
just to
They're
have
also
this.
from the Two Rivers.
I know about the man you meet in North Harbor. Walk away. Never mention this again.
Oh, that's an interesting little tidbit.
The Amyrlin's expecting us.
Let her wait.
Swan Sanche waits for only one woman. And it's not you.
I like that.
Come.
Oh, I wonder if there's a scene I wonder if they're about
Closer.
to do a version of from the books. That I really like that scene from the books, so I'm hoping to see it.
These are your two, Moiraine. I've been told you're the most powerful channeler we've seen in 1,000 years. Nynaeve Almira.
Then you must have very low standards.
Oh, that's
I know what
hilarious.
it is to feel you deserve something different than what this life gives you. To wonder why you couldn't just stay at home, love the people you love, grow old with them, protect them, support them, threads weaving in and out of the pattern without consequence.
It's interesting how she looks
But the truth is,
around them, but not really at them.
the two of you have been called to greatness.
So what do we need to do?
Time for a journey. Well, another journey.
I'll stand in the hall with you if you want.
I'll be all right. Thank you.
Do you guys think you could do it? Think you could
Make sure they're there.
give up everything in order to make the world a better place? And I mean, like, truly give up everything?
You will swear fealty to the judgment of this seat on the sacred oath rod.
Wow. I don't think Moiraine was expecting this part.
The one power renders it unbreakable and eternally binding.
Wait, eternally binding? Does that mean, like, even in future turns of the wheel? This when careful
By the light.
use of the words is
And my
important.
hope of salvation and rebirth. I, Moiraine Sedai, swear to obey the judgment of the Amyrlin Seat and never return till she calls me home.
I, Moiraine Sedai, do swear to honor and obey Swan Sanche,
Okay.
daughter of the river.
That's not what you were told to say.
Strong as the tides. And never return until she calls me home.
That was almost low-key a wedding ceremony. Well, imagine if people had to get married using the oath
Now
rod.
turn and face your sisters and leave this tower.
I tell you, man, there's some quality fucking acting going on. The one blue in the middle knows exactly what just happened, though. She realizes that she got outplayed, and she's trying to understand it. Shun the non-believer. I think about that sometimes, like, you know, how much would you really be willing to give up to make the world a better place. And they all know from what they can see what essentially just happened. I would tell everyone to go back and really analyze the expressions people were wearing on their faces in that scene. I want to learn to ride a horse. I grew up in a big city, so I think I've seen horses, but I think I've never really touched one, actually. I think I touched a pony once. I don't know. I like them. When I would see them out in the countryside, I would always talk at them, and they always responded. They seem like really cool critters. I want to ride one day. Who wants to take me to ride a horse? Oh yeah, shit's about to get real, guys.
Builder, thank you for honoring your promise. Are you alone?
Notice that she always calls Loyal Builder. And she seems to have great respect for him. Yeah, there we go. Got the band back together.
You look like shit. Feels good to see you.
I told you I'd find you.
At least I wasn't stupid enough to steal an evil dagger.
Yeah, Matt, you fucking moron. You were literally told not to touch or take or eat anything in that fucking city. Love it.
What are you doing?
Your
They will not
horses.
survive the ways.
You will not need them.
One step in the ways could be 100 miles in our world. One breath, the equivalent.
It's the fastest road to the Eye of the World.
And what's there? At the Eye?
The Dark One's prison.
Everyone keeps cutting
Where he was
Loyal
trapped
off.
by the last dragon at the cost
so
of
funny.
almost everything. And now one of you will finish the job you started in your previous life.
But you don't know who the dragon is.
We cannot know for certain until that moment comes.
She had to look for a good way to say that. Oh, that's interesting. It's neat when they make an actual symbol out of things. And that was a nice little nod to the books, too.
Is it too late to change my mind?
Oh, Matt.
The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Try saying that 5 times fast, right?
Come on, Matt!
The gate's closing!
Matt's not through! Matt! Come on, Matt!
Okay. So we ended with a pretty significant departure from the plot line, if I remember correctly. So I'm curious to see where they're going with that. So the Waygate is a little different. I'm wondering whether they'll all be like this and what implications it has for some things that happen a little later. When it comes to changes from the books, I'm trying to basically keep an open mind because changes are done deliberately. I've seen enough from the creators behind the show to know that they're familiar enough with the source material that if they make changes, they're very deliberate. I'm just waiting to see what the narrative purpose, or purposes, I should say, of the changes that just happened will be, and then I will decide whether or not they make sense to me.
Sleepy?
Another really strong episode. I liked how they built upon the relationship between Moiraine and Swan. They are extremely close, and the show really deepened that and made us really feel for the depth of their sacrifice in pursuit of trying to make sure that the last battle goes the way they want. I mean, honestly, what Swan is attempting to do by sending Moiraine to the Eye of the World is to forestall the last battle completely. Basically, kill the Dark One while he's sleeping, so to speak, you know, and prevent the need for there to even be a final, you know, big world-involving confrontation. Whether it'll work, who knows? I mean, well, I do know, but but I'm not gonna say anything. So the next episode will probably be the craziness that goes on in the ways, and last episode will be the Eye of the World, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. It was really cool seeing them pay off the line Moiraine said about how she has eyes everywhere. I think people forget that, you know, we have to pay attention to everything she says, the exact letter of what she says. Remember, she says stuff like, you know, I will know when they're in the city. Doesn't mean she said, I will tell you when they're in the city. You know what I mean? She told Nynaeve, when your friends arrive, I will take you to them. It doesn't mean that she will take her to them right away. And it's also possible that, you know, she kind of set up what happened between Loial and Nynaeve to get her to Mat and Rhea, thus fulfilling what she said without actually directly doing it. I don't think that's what really happened, but it is possible. I think that she was just planning on taking her to them at the most opportune time for what she's attempting to do. I really like, even though I know this is pissing off a lot of you know, more dedicated to the actual words book readers, but I really like the fact that we still don't know in the show who the dragon is. That's really cool. I can only imagine being a viewer only and having no idea who it is, what's going to happen. And now we have one of the candidates didn't even come into the ways with them. So if he's the dragon reborn and they get to the Eye of the World without him, what happens, you know? Does Moiraine's entire plan or the whole attempt to fall apart? You know, that's really, in my opinion, that's very smart, even though I know that it does, like I said, tick off some book readers. I'm really liking the show a lot, and it's actually making me want to reread the books that I have already read and finish the whole series through. And that, to me, is the mark of a good show. Either inspire interest in the source material or renew interest in the source material. Let me know what you guys thought, book readers and non-book readers, of this episode, the previous episode, how it's all coming together. What do you think non-book readers is going to happen in the next 2 episodes? What is your prediction on who is the Dragon Reborn? And remember, if you are a book reader and you want to discuss this stuff, please use spoiler tags and spacing so that we don't ruin the experience for the non-readers. And also remember that I have not read Lord of Chaos and Beyond yet. So please try to, you know, be nice to me a little bit and not spoil the stuff that happens from that book onward to the end of the series. I also have not read the prequel yet because I tend to read series in publication order, not necessarily their actual chronological order. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining me for this reaction. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to talking to you about it in the comments below. And you guys remember to always be safe, stay well, and join me for the next one. Bye-bye.